Well, today we're introducing a new public information officer from the CHP San Juan office. I'd like to welcome Ray Scheidness. He's taking over for Pete Kim, and it's good to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here this morning.
So first, when you guys come on for the first time, I'd like to know about your background.
I'm Officer Ray Scheidness of the California Highway Patrol. I've been an officer with the department for 14 years now. Started off in 2001 as a brand new officer up in the Northern California area in Hayward. After that, I became certified as a commercial vehicle enforcement officer. Did that for approximately 5.5 years.
Is that the scales?
That's the truck scales
Okay.
down there on Camp Pendleton, as a matter of fact, where
Okay.
I learned to look at big trucks and enforce the laws that apply to them. And then after that, I went on to the communication center down in San Diego, where I participated in giving the media the local traffic reports for one of the news stations down there and some of the radio stations. The last 4 years up until now, I've been a road patrol officer in the San Juan Capistrano or South Orange County area, and recently stepped into this position as the public information officer now.
All right, so you up in Hayward patrolled the 880 and the 92?
The 880,
Okay.
the 580, and those are, yes, between San Jose and Oakland. A very,
Yes.
very busy area, very busy.
Horrible area to drive. I'm from the Bay Area, and I'm from San Mateo and went back and lived in Foster City for a
Yes,
few years in the
yes.
mid-90s. So, yeah, that's
Very busy, lots of people trying to live in a small space.
yeah, exactly. Well, we're glad to have you on here today. One of the things we're going to talk about today are the toll roads, and I live up in RSM, so I travel on the 241 a lot. And I think we all like to call them, the roads we love to hate. We love the convenience of them and the fact that there is normally not a lot of traffic on them compared to the freeways.
Correct.
Of course, we all hate paying for them,
Right.
but also the different ways we have to pay for them. Now, as you know, there's three different ways. You have the transponder, which I have had for years, so I just kept it. And then the new system came in when they got rid of the cash tolls. I think it's called Express Toll, where you have
Right.
your credit card on file. And then, of course, it's the one-time
That's
payment
correct.
type thing. So, as an officer, and you're patrolling one of the toll roads, what do you look for? We're not talking about people speeding, the normal stuff.
Right.
When people are going through the tolls, I have my transponder on my desk. So if you do have a transponder, where is the proper place to put that?
The proper place to mount your transponder is actually the top center of your windshield behind your rearview mirror.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work for you for whatever reason, probably the lower left-hand or right-hand corners of your windshield would be the best place to mount those. We do encounter folks who have the transponder in the center console or in the glove box, and the problem with that is that the signal may not get picked up by the machinery and the devices that are there to catch your signal. So it is proper to mount that device properly, and that's one of the things we as officers on patrol are looking for. When we see your vehicle out on the roadway, we're looking for both a front and rear license plate, which California law requires you to have. But those license plates are also another way for the system to identify you and to collect your payment. There are cameras set up all over those toll roads to photograph both you and your vehicle, and they look for those license plates and for that transponder. So they do need to be visible.
Yeah, I have mine on the driver's side, the left corner. I think at one time I put it in the middle, but the glare sometimes comes out, so I put it there. Now, the one thing that changed is, of course, there are people who go on the toll roads now. It used to be you had the transponder,
Right.
or if you didn't, you better have seen somebody pull off to pay.
Right.
But now you have people going through there with no visible sign of, that they have the transponder or one or the other. So what are you looking for then? If somebody is just a traveler going through, they're just going through, and I guess the toll roads are going, well, we hope they pay very soon.
Right.
So what do you look for beyond that? Talk about those lights that we see up there, the different colors that come up.
You're talking about those lights that will, as a vehicle passes through that or underneath that contraption, that system is looking for that vehicle to have that transponder. And what an officer will oftentimes do is sit nearby that device that's over the roadway and look at those lights. And certain lights are going to tell the officer whether that person has an account or did not register a transponder. The officer's looking for the vehicles, obviously, that did not register a signal. And when an officer sees that, the officer can go make a stop on that vehicle and then find out what the situation is with that particular vehicle. Oftentimes, the transponder wasn't placed correctly and the signal didn't get read, or in fact, the person did not have a transponder or a means to pay. And then the proper enforcement action can be taken by that officer on that particular vehicle.
Okay.
But they are sitting there. You will see, if you see a patrol vehicle sitting close by that equipment, that's probably what he or she is looking for, is watching
And
those lights.
again, the people who are just nowadays can travel through there without a transponder or an account.
Right.
So it's a little bit different now. It used
Right.
to be it was more cut and dry about who you could pull over for that
Right.
infraction or not.
Right.
How is that handled now? Do you just figure, well, maybe they have a transponder, maybe they don't, maybe they're traveling in the area?
Yeah, well, again, they're looking for those certain violations, such as the license plate violations
Okay.
and those transponders, and those are all probable cause reasons that the officer has that he or she can use to stop that vehicle and take the proper enforcement action. We do enforce all vehicle code laws on all the toll roads. The same things that apply in Interstate 5 or any other highway apply on those toll roads as well. So like you said, speeding, for instance, or seatbelts or cell phones. We look for all those violations there, but we're also looking for the violations that are related to the toll road, the toll collection system. So we are looking for a variety of violations out there. The tolls are very important. They pay for the maintenance and the construction of those roads. These toll roads are key to this area, as we all
Right.
know, especially Laguna Woods. The community itself is very close to the 73 and the 133, and these are probably all roads that the residents here and their visitors use. So it's a very convenient system of roads to have. And you're right, people don't really want to have to pay to use them. It's kind of a drawback, but
Right.
but you are paying for a little added convenience because, as you also mentioned, those roads are very the traffic's a lot lighter
Yeah,
than
it is.
than the I-5. You can see a noticeable difference, especially those periods of high traffic, like on the weekends and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, where we live, it's almost necessary to go on the toll road
Right.
when we want to go somewhere.
Exactly.
Here, I think people would choose the 73
Right.
because of the traffic reasons. If they're
Exactly.
going to John Wayne Airport or something like that,
Right.
it's very convenient. As far as signing up for an account, I know that if you want the transponder, they're still available.
Right.
You get a bit of a discount on your tolls with the transponder
That's
because
correct.
you have sort of a bank on file. And then the next one, I think it's called Express or
Right.
something like that. That one, I believe, draws immediately from a card you
Right.
have on file.
That's correct.
And then, of course, if you don't have either of those and you go through
The one-time pay.
the one-time pay,
Right.
which is the highest amount I believe you'll pay.
And you have 5 days to actually take care of that payment as well. They
Yeah.
give you a grace period there. The toll roads system has a website called thetollroads.com. If you go on there, it'll let you set up whatever type of account you wish to have. It's also the way or the means to go pay that one-time toll fee if you're driving a rental car, for instance, that's not registered to you, or you don't have your transponder, you're in someone else's car. You go into that system, you can log on to it and make that payment. They're going to ask you some personal information, some stuff to identify you about your vehicle, about you, where you entered, where you exited the toll road, and then they'll make the calculation based on that, on how much you need to pay.
Yeah.
You're right also about the fast track system. That's the transponder that you're going to get for your car. That is going to charge you a fee that's less than all the other options that you have. And the beauty of that system is that applies throughout the state of California.
Yes, it does.
There are a lot of other toll roads that will use that. And
The bridges up in the Bay Area. for
Exactly,
example.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
So if you go up there, and some of those high occupancy vehicle lanes or carpool lanes also use that fast track system in the Bay Area and other parts of California. So if you plan to go up in those areas and you have that system, you're all set. You won't have to worry about paying any extra tolls.
Yeah, that's why I kept that system because, like I said, I'm from up
convenient.
there. I have family up there,
Right.
and it is convenient. Also, you can go on with your transponder. I'm not sure with the Express account, and you can register another vehicle license
That's
on
right.
there. So maybe they don't care as long as you pay. Maybe you have somebody visiting with you for a while,
Right.
and you can give your transponder to them. You just have to make sure you register that license ahead of time, and then you're fine. Like I said,
Right.
it's not locked into your vehicle. It's transferable
That's right.
as long as they have the information, which is nice.
That's right. Go online, make sure all your vehicles entered on there that you want to use that transponder with, and you'll be set. You'll be okay. And a lot of times the system or the problem that we encounter on the road is people will purchase a new vehicle, for instance,
Right.
and they won't have any plates assigned to that vehicle for say a couple of weeks. But it's still important that you go onto your account.
Yes.
And input the information that you do have, for instance, a vehicle's identification number or something like that, to start the identification process of that vehicle so that the toll road system can properly debit your account.
Yeah, I did that when I got my car. And what I always forget to do is once I get the license,
Yeah.
put that in. But you know what happens, you go through, they send you a letter out,
Right.
and then you just go online and put the information in your
Exactly.
file. But I always seem to get it on when I get the new car,
Yeah.
but I forget to update that when it comes to license. So that's
Well, it's important to put those license plates on there as soon as you do have them. And remember, in California, they do require a front and a rear license plate. A lot of people don't want to put the front license plate on there. That's actually a no-no. That needs to be on there. And those plates need to be uncovered. You'll see a lot of aftermarket license plate decorations or covers that obscure the plate. And it is actually a vehicle code violation to have any kind of a cover on your license plate. So keep those things completely visible. There's also a transponder that you can get. I've seen that also mounts to your license plate.
Right. You guys have that, don't you?
We actually have both.
Okay. Because I know the first time I saw that
On a patrol
was
car?
on Chris Goodwin's car.
Is that right? Okay.
And I didn't even know what it was. But
Yeah, we actually have both. Some of our vehicles will have the square one in the window as well. But if you want the license plate version, I'm sure you can ask for that when you apply for your account.
Okay, yeah, that's if you want something a little bit less intrusive, then
Exactly.
you can put that on if you'd like. What areas prior to doing this did you patrol the toll roads, or just all over?
I pretty much everything within my office's jurisdiction, which is going to
Okay.
be from or area of responsibility, I should say. It's going to be from the Orange County line down there at the north end of Camp Pendleton on the I-5, Christianos Road, all the way up to Lake Forest Drive, just south of the I-405. So that whole portion of I-5 I work on when I patrol, and also we do the State Route 73 from where it starts at the I-5, going up to the Catalina View Toll Plaza. We also do the Highway 241 from just near Coto de Caza all the way up to the Irvine city limits.
Okay.
And those are our areas of primary responsibility.
Ortega Highway?
And the Ortega Highway, I'm sorry.
Up until,
until Riverside County, that's
yeah.
right. Right.
Okay,
So
and
we
then
do that as well.
Okay, so yeah.
And a lot of points in between as well, all those highways.
As far as getting information on road closures or any other things that are going on, obviously there's your website. You
Correct.
can go to also sigalert.com,
Right.
which is actually really good, because you can go on the SigAlert website and look at the map. And once you're on there, you can put in Orange County, but quite literally, you can start scrolling around the whole state of California.
That's right.
And there's little dots on there, and if you click on the dots, sometimes there's an actual camera there. You can see the road
Oh, I've
conditions.
seen those, yeah.
And it'll give you the conditions. If it's like in red, you can click there. It'll tell you exactly what it is.
Right.
So if you're, it works well. If you're about ready to go somewhere, take a look at that.
There's also another website I can point you out to. My office is a part of a division, and throughout the state of California, the Highway Patrol has 8 divisions,
Okay.
and we are the border division. And if you go onto the CHP's Border Division website
Okay.
on the internet,
Okay.
there is a traffic tab or section on there. And what you can do is go into there. When you go into that tab, it will ask you which area you're looking for. And if you're going to be in this general area of Southern California, from the border all the way up through San Diego and up through Orange County, what you can do is pick that border choice, and then it'll
Okay.
show you all the traffic incidences that the CHP is handling at that particular time.
Oh, that's
and you
nice.
can
Yeah, I
actually see
didn't
details of the
realize that.
incident too. So if there's a crash, it'll actually give you some details about that crash, if there's lanes blocked, things like that. And this is going to be from the from the CHP.
Okay, and keep in mind, and I see more and more people adhering to this, that when an officer is at the side of the road, or even a tow truck or whatever, give them space. Try and go to the other lane if you can, or if not, slow down. I now see people doing this just on the surface street. So I see the word has gotten around where they will actually go to the other lane if it's safe to do so and possible.
The law does require you to do that now. There actually is a vehicle code section which states that you, if you see emergency lights, from a patrol vehicle or any other kind of emergency vehicle, or you said a tow truck or Caltrans, somebody doing some sort of work on the side of the freeway right there, give them space. Either move over a lane or two or slow down if you can't do that. And obviously pay very close attention, because we do have people working very close to that edge line, and it's very dangerous work. We try to keep our eyes open as much as possible, and unfortunately accidents do happen, but the more that people pay attention, the better for all of us to make it home safely that day.
Yeah, definitely, for everyone. I know years ago the officers, I mean going way back, would stand on the driver's side and talk to them. Now
Right.
you guys go to the other side, and you want the people that you pull over to stay in their vehicle, correct? You don't
Correct.
want them coming out and,
No.
because you don't know what their intent is.
That's exactly
And
right.
also for their safety.
Absolutely. We're looking at everybody's safety. For officer safety reasons, as you mentioned, obviously we want to be able to see the hands. We want to keep people safe. For our own safety, we want to know what everybody's doing at all times. But it also for the motorist safety and everybody
Yeah.
within that vehicle, the safest place to be most of the time is in that car with the seatbelts on. You don't want people running around the side of the freeway. We're trained and experienced with life as it is on the side of the freeway and what to watch out for. The average person doesn't have that experience.
Right.
And just the best thing to do is stay contained in that vehicle. And as an officer, what we're looking to see is that everybody's remains in their seats with their hands visible, seatbelts on, and just answer the questions as best you can that the officer's addressing. We all know that you need to have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance when an officer pulls you over, and then let the officer explain to you the reason for the contact.
Right.
And just remain calm, keep your hands visible, don't make any sudden movements, and hopefully it'll go relatively pain-free.
Right, exactly. All right, thank you very much for coming on. Good to meet you.
My pleasure.
We'll see you again in about a month or so.
That sounds great, Ken.
All right, take care, and
Thank you.
we will be right back. It's interesting, we were traveling